with total control. Thought it was an excellent start to the game. Got that breakthrough with a wonderful set piece, and this is two big teams going at it for the title. I think City will be slightly disappointed with the performance in the end, that they didn't get more control later on in that second half to go and put Liverpool under pressure. So I don't think it was one of those that you go away and say, you know, you'd be too disappointed that you didn't win, but you didn't want to lose the game. That would have been a real disappointment for certain. So you move on, you look forward to the next games, Arsenal, etc., because it's going to go right to the wire, this title race.
Well, it is indeed. Arsenal on 64 points, Liverpool on 64 points, City on 63 points. It couldn't be much tighter. A 1-1 draw at the Etihad, now a 1-1 draw at Anfield. The two best teams of the last 7 or 8 seasons come head-to-head, and they couldn't be separated. Final score, Liverpool 1, City 1. Well, let's go back to the studio and we can join Natalie.
Welcome back to Matchday Live. I feel ill. What a game of football we have just witnessed. So it ended up 1-1, Liverpool 1, Manchester City 1. Just to quickly update you, the women's game has gone to penalties. So we'll keep you updated on a score there. Izzy, I'm absolutely and utterly exhausted. That was some game.
It was the quickest second half ever. My word, it was end-to-end. The players must be absolutely dead on their feet, because that was exciting. It was intense, but my word. I think, I don't know. I was just looking at the league table then on my phone, and I think it's a better result for Liverpool than City, unfortunately. But City was so in control in the first half. Yeah. I don't know what happened. Just
the momentum. You know, when you play and there's an incident like the goal, it can just change momentum, can't it? And then the crowd lifts, and then all of a sudden they're cheering, tackles and throw-ins, and it's like, oh my God.
It was the only way that Liverpool were going to get back into the game was like a City, you know, it was a soft one, wasn't it? And that gave them the energy, and it galvanised Liverpool, which is what they were looking for, and that's what Klopp teams do. But now City were dominant first half, and I can't believe they didn't score again in the first half.
At half-time, if you'd have told me the game was going to finish 1-1, I'd have thought, never. Yeah. And I'm not taking that, I'm not having that. But come full-time, I'm relieved, Joleon.
I think you would have took 1-1 after 50 minutes.
Yeah. No, do you know what? I'm not sure I would have. Because at that point, I still felt like City had dominated. But after Liverpool scored, the swing was very, very noticeable.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Momentum, man. We've been on the other end of that when it's happened. I think it happened... Is it the Newcastle game?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even the United game, when we go behind and then all of a sudden Phil Foden equalises, then you just know then, don't you? Do you know what I mean? So, again, momentum is so important in games. And was it a fair result? You'd probably say, yeah. Obviously, the balance of the two halves, you'd probably say, again, we dominated first half. They didn't dominate the second half, but was on the ascendancy and created the tempo and sustained the tempo. And, yeah, it was a quick 90 minutes, that, or 100.
Oh, really? Because I felt like that was a lifetime. Like, that would just dragged for me, especially at the end when 8 minutes were added on.
Yeah, 8 minutes feels like a long time, but it just, yeah.
The Doku chance.
Oh, yeah.
The post.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You probably would say on chances.
But I think, 1-1 was a fair.
You think at the end? Yes.
Yeah. Because obviously Ortega made a great save.
True. Yeah. True.
So the keepers and Kiela has actually saved the Doku chance as well. He's pushed it onto the post. So keepers making saves, and there wasn't many clear-cut chances after that or before that. So yeah, I would say fair.
Let's talk about the Liverpool goal then. So obviously it came from a penalty. I don't know, I'd love to know the statistics, but I feel like every time we play Liverpool, like we do something that leads to them getting the goal. I mean, I remember other penalties at Anfield in the past as well. Do you think that, I mean, clear-cut penalty for you, first of all, Izzy?
Yeah, it's a penalty, and, you know, Ake was exceptional today, and I think that I feel sorry for him, because he's just played a slightly short back pass just after the second half started. You know, you're maybe not there mentally, just, you know, those fraction of a second, and Edison, Yeah, he has to come out for it. He has to.
See, I don't think so.
I think
he
had
can
it
see
in his
the weight.
mind.
Yeah, I think he has to come
He's coming
initially.
to play it, but he didn't realise how close Núñez was.
But even as he gets there, you can see he's a bit tentative with his attempt. So I'm thinking before that, recognise you're not getting there and maybe just defend or just stay on your feet, whatever. But yeah, it's an incident for Nathan Ake. I've been there myself. That goes over your head and you're on your weaker foot going back to your own goal. It's something you don't practice, and it can happen. Like, I think someone did it after that as well. It's like you just underhit it. You just think, I need it to be right. I need it to be soft so we can clear it, and then it's too soft, and then you're only focused on the player out wide, and then there's a striker that's reading the situation. So yeah, it's one of them. But Nathan was top.
Yeah, he's brilliant.
And then that led to Edison going off a few minutes later, being replaced by Stefan Ortega, which he did well when he came on, didn't he? That didn't affect the game.
Yeah, again, very well. Keepers, again, it's difficult, but he come in and just was composed, got the speed of the game, made saves, didn't create any kind of uncomfortable moments in regards to being closed down and being hurried. So, yeah, he's good goalie.
So many chances in that second half. There's so many opportunities. I mean, there was Diaz's chance that went wide. Núñez had a chance. It was a good save from Ortega. Phil had a couple of chances. Doku had a chance. We can't even talk about them all, but there was just... if you were neutral and you watched that game, Izzy, you must have just had the best afternoon of your life.
Yeah, it's an unbelievable game of football, like end-to-end, fast, free-flowing. I mean, the players, I said to Joleon, like 80 minutes, the players look knackered. Yeah. And can totally feel it, can totally see it. The games like that, when they're end-to-end, and it's almost like a basketball match. You know, you need a moment to catch your breath, but then you know that you also need that moment when you're tired to go and hurt the opposition, because that's the time you're going to get them. And that's why there were so many chances in the game. But that Doku one at the end, my word. It's a great save, isn't it, by Kelleher, but, oh, my Lord, like, that would have been his moment. And you were saying it. Joleon was screaming at the TV going, you know, this is your moment. Why you signed here? Yeah. That would have been a massive goal, but I think it feels a little bit flat because Liverpool have finished the game on top. Yeah. But I think in the grand scheme of things, the most important thing is don't lose the game. And that's okay. Just about okay.
Just about okay.
Still well in it.
Manchester City women have been knocked out of the FA Cup at the quarter-final stage. Spurs have just won on penalties. It finished 4-3 on penalties to Spurs. Man, disappointing after... Oh,
I'm shocked.
At half-time, I was
I think Chloe Kelly missed.
Did she?
A miss from Chloe Kelly. I mean, you'd put your house on Chloe Kelly scoring a penalty, so... wow, the mood for me has changed dramatically since half-time. Right, let's go back over to... Let's go back over to Anfield now with FG.
All right, full time from Anfield. Manchester City with the draw here. The players are behind us, thanking the away support. We'll take a point.
I tell you what, it was what a game of football. Wow. Obviously, with Edison coming off, Ortega going on, Jurgen Klopp was describing Quinton Kelleher as the best number 2 in the world, and the biggest save of the afternoon is Stefan Ortega. What a save.
Absolutely, what a save indeed. He stepped in really well. And it could have been for John Stones. It could have been the John Stones story. An Everton player in the past coming to Anfield. The away section erupted when that went in. And we just thought it could be the year. But then second half, considering a penalty early on. But we showed real character in that second half, didn't we?
Yeah, it was by both. I mean, I've got to say by both teams, because I thought it was a wonderful, wonderful game of football. I know it's 1-1 and people like seeing loads of goals, and Michael Brown in particular, who scoffed at my 1-1 prediction. It was quality all over the place. I think everyone's been treated to a fantastic game, and it continues.
It does indeed continue. That is a sensational prediction. So Michael Brown, I think David James has got a word to have with you. We've also got to have a word with our away support today. Absolutely unbelievable. Super, super loud, and they're still singing right now.
And Johnny should. I just thought it would, as I say, fantastic game, fantastic performances. Unfortunately, from City's perspective, Liverpool score more goals in the second half. It's quite simple as that. It wasn't as late as they normally do. And it was kind of like you needed 2 goals to make sure you weren't going to get caught. But all the way to the end, what a game.
What a game indeed, but that chance at the end off the post at the Kop end.
For Doku.
Oh, Jeremy, he did so well. And I just thought for 1 second, could have been the moment.
And there was Phil Foden. I don't know if it would have been handball when Kelleher punched it on the Phil Foden, it hit the crossbar.
What a game. Well, listen, Anfield's done for another year. The title race is well and truly still on. I hope you guys have enjoyed the coverage here at Anfield. We'll take a point.
Thanks so much to FG and to David James for everything they've done at Anfield today. We will be going over to Citizens Arms again in just a minute. It's been a very busy match day live today. A couple of other incidents we should probably mention from the game as well. A couple of penalty shouts for Liverpool towards the end of the second half. Any of them worthy of the shout for you, Joleon?
The Doku one, maybe. Like, I'm glad that the game wasn't decided on something like that. Like, their penalty was obvious. They didn't need to check it, and I'm glad it wasn't a VAR decision. The Salah one, no. Initially could have been, but when you see it on the replay, it's soft. But the Doku one, potentially. I think if the game isn't of that magnitude, I think that's given.
Really?
I don't think they want that to be the deciding factor, because it's not clear. But I've seen softer penalties than that in the Premier League this season.
I thought it was a little bit silly from Doku at the end. Like, the ball was bouncing. It's difficult to deal with, especially when you're in that cauldron of pressure when Liverpool are throwing everything at you in the last few minutes. But, yeah, I don't think he should have given the referee any thought to even consider it. But, I've seen him give him.
Yeah. I think you could see a little bit of nervous energy defending them scenarios. And again, it's probably not something we have to practice. No. It's not something like I've seen Akanji slash a couple of clearances. I'm thinking, obviously the occasion is its magnitude, but you're not used to doing that enough to know to stay calm in that situation. And similar to Doku, when he probably should have gone for a header, but again, is he practicing
exactly
them aspects of his game? No, because it's not that often that it happens.
Other noticeable points to the second half. Kevin went off kind of halfway through the second half. Were you surprised by that?
I was, because of the quality that Kevin has and the magnitude of the game. Taking De Bruyne off is a bold decision. Now, I understand the players that he brought on, Kovacic and Doku, and I think he brought them on as a pair to sort of complement each other. Kovacic to sort of secure the space that Doku would sort of drive into. Underneath the ball to have a bit of security, if you like. But I understand Kevin's frustrations, because he knows he's got it in his locker to win a game. And to come off in that game particularly, I feel it. I
wasn't, to be honest, because I feel the game, it was transitional.
OK.
So that's where Kevin's not probably at his strengths. Like, it was a fast tempo game, and it was like bang, 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 and it was like, and he looked like he couldn't keep up with the pace, and we couldn't afford to carry anyone defensively. There was times when everyone was getting back, and as I said, that's not his strengths. His strengths are when we are more composed, can I find the right pass? And I don't think anyone had enough time to find that pass. It was more, can we get it there? It's going to go there, because he's being closed down. And it's like, it was a bit more rushed, which, again, he can operate at that tempo. But I just thought the game it needed a bit of a change to be calmer and a bit more defensive structure.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
Unless we get drawn against Liverpool in the FA Cup, it may be the last time that we see Pep versus Jurgen in England, certainly.
Be a good final, wouldn't it, that?
Do you think?
Yeah. If you're going to see... I don't want to get it in the semis. You either I don't want to get them, or you get them in the final.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Really?
There's no Anfield. They're playing at Wembley.
OK.
So it's different.
OK.
Yeah.
You're talking me into it. OK.
Yeah, it's not Anfield, that.
You're buying it now, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd rather someone just knocked him out, to be honest.
100%. I'd rather that. United.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We've not got any chance there, have we? Yeah. Yeah. Because I would. I'd rather United knocked him out.
Oh, yeah. We beat United.
Yeah.
6-0.
Definitely. But they've given us some incredible...
Another big scoreline.
I love that, yeah. They've given us some incredible games, and if this is the last time, well, they signed it off in a very special way, didn't they?
It's funny, because you look at the two managers at the end, and you're like, it's almost like, if that is the last time, they know that they're that close in terms of how good they are, what they do, that a 1-1 draw, in the grand scheme of things, looking back, might actually be a fairy tale ending for them both. Yeah. That one of them hasn't gone out with a win over the other, because, I mean, the rivalry between them two has just been unbelievable to watch.
It's the most respectful rivalry and intense.
Yeah.
Of such high quality. There is, like, the Arsene Wenger, Sir Alex one was obviously magnified, but it was aggressive and it was different, where that is, like, ultimate respect.
You never feel any, like, what's the word, like...
distaste to each other.
Yeah,
it's like
you never
genuine,
feel like anything's going to get nasty.
Yeah.
There's this, like you say, just a genuine respect and appreciation for what each other do.
Much like between us all in the studio, I would say, yes.
Dropping a couple of F-bombs, wasn't that?
Yeah, my language was horrible during that second half. I apologise to everybody in this studio today. I imagine it was similar over in the Citizens' Arms in the city centre. So let's go over now back to Liam and to Nikki Weaver.
We're here at the Citizens' Arms with Asahi, and I tell you what, that was some game. Nikki, how are you feeling after that?
Well, I think all City fans will be happy with a point. It could have swung either way. Liverpool probably the better team overall, and there was a little bit of a dodgy decision at the end perhaps, but yeah, I think it's a fair result, and we'll take that and come back to the Etihad.
We've got to talk about Stefan Ortega. What a performance.
Yeah, it's really difficult, coming on as a sub-goalkeeper, something you don't really expect to do. It only happens maybe once or twice a season, but I thought he came on after Edison's injury. I thought he did terrific, made 2 or 3 really good saves. He was calm in possession. And I think the big save he made was when Robertson whipped it in behind and Núñez, was there. It looked like he was going to score it. He spread himself, and that's a massive save, and that has earned City a point.
What's the trick coming on as a goalkeeper? Is it get that first save under your belt and you settle? What do you need to do?
Listen, he's a very experienced goalkeeper. He's been in the situation before. He has played in big games, but it's just that moment when, Edison's coming off. I always say to any goalkeeper that's going on, don't sprint on. Take your time getting on, because your heart will be pounding. You want a couple of nice, steady touches to ease your way into the game. As a goalkeeper, that's not always possible, because you have to, deal with what gets thrown your way. But listen, I thought he did fantastic, and he's an experienced goalkeeper. Is as good a number 2 as you'll get, as it was, Caoimhin Kelleher today, I thought, for Liverpool. So yeah, it just shows how important it is to have a good number 2 goalkeeper.
We've got to talk about the chances. Foden hits the crossbar and Doku hits the post. It wasn't all one way for Liverpool, right?
Certainly not. Listen, City, they've got amazing talent going forward. The Foden one where Kelleher's come and punched it against him. He didn't know much about it. But certainly the Doku one. I mean, he cut inside a couple of times and got his shot blocked. He went down the outside on this occasion, hit a great shot, and you're talking millimetres. If it inside the post, come back to Caoimhin Kelleher. Doku did fantastic there. Really unfortunate not to get a goal, and we could have been sat here, talking about a City win. It wasn't to be. Liverpool had their chance as well, and City rode their luck at times. So, at the end, I think, the final whistle couldn't come soon enough for City, really.
De Bruyne looked disappointed coming off. I mean, there were surprises around the pub. What did you make of that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously got an assist with the goal. He didn't really get into the game as much as I'm sure himself and Pep would have liked. Obviously, Pep made the change. There was a little bit of a exchange of little conversation when they come off, and then Pep went and sat next to him, which you don't normally see. But I think Kevin De Bruyne is not a normal player, so I think you've sort of got to give him a little bit of leeway there. And I'm sure it'll all be fine. He'll be disappointed he come off. Pep will have been explaining the reasons why, and ultimately City have gone on to get a point. And at that point, when he did come off, would have settled for a point. So, who's anyone to argue with Pep Guardiola?
Let's talk bigger picture. We've got a 3-horse title race. What does this result mean for the race?
Well, there's 1 point separates 3 teams at the moment. So yeah, it's going to be really interesting. Obviously, City's got Arsenal coming up soon at the Etihad, which is going to be another massive game. But you're getting to the business end of the season now. FA Cup quarter-final next weekend. So, the treble's still on. But sort of any game now, it can sort of falter a little bit. But one thing I would say is, City have been in this position before. And whatever position they find themselves in, whether behind or in front in the league, they've won the league from there. None of the other teams have. We've seen Arsenal last year
They had a huge lead at one point, that faltered, and City ended up winning it quite comfortably. So, City have been there, they've got the T-shirt, but yeah, it's certainly going to be an entertaining end to the season, that is for sure.
Do you think that's in the back of the minds of the Liverpool, the Arsenal players? They know City have been here, they know this team can do it. It's like we get a little bit of a lead or we do this, they're going to be there come end of the season.
Yeah, they've been there and done. They've got a hugely experienced team, experienced manager, experienced squad. In my opinion, the best squad in the league. So yeah, listen, there's going to be lots of twists and turns. There's lots of games to go and lots of points to be played for. But if I was a betting man, I'd put my money on City. But yeah, it's certainly going to be interesting.
I couldn't have summarised it any better. There we have it.
Thanks to Liam and to Nikki. So the league table as it stands, as they were mentioning, Arsenal top of the table as it stands, 28 games they've played, 64 points. Liverpool in second, 28 games played, 64 points. Arsenal with a better goal difference, significantly by 7 better goal difference. City in third, their 28 games played, 63 points. So 1 point separates 3 teams, and we have 10 games to play in the Premier League. Of course, City still competing in the Champions League, and the draw for the quarterfinals and the semi-finals takes place this Friday. We will be here in the studio doing a live show. FG is here, and FG is going to be joined by Neda Manua and by Michael Brown. The show starts at 11 a.m. So we already know 4 of the teams that are through to the draw. So Bayern, Real, PSG and City, we're already through. The other games take place this week. So there's 4 games, 2 games on Tuesday, 2 games on Wednesday. Arsenal currently trailing to Porto. Barcelona and Napoli 1-1 at the minute. Dortmund, PSV 1, and Inter are leading Atletico 1-0. So some tight games this afternoon before the draw on Friday. And I like this draw because I don't know, I think I do, because you get your quarterfinal and then your semi-final. So after Friday, we'll know the route to Wembley should we get there. No, you don't not feeling that?
I prefer to have another draw.
You prefer to have a draw?
Yeah.
Yeah, the suspense of the draw is what you want, because then you're not getting carried away with, so say it's PSV.
Yes.
You can get in the semi-final, you've got Real Madrid. You're thinking, Ed, you're thinking about the semi-finals and thinking, we're never in the final. Do you know what I mean? Just think about the next game and just do one at a time.
One at a time.
The suspense.
OK, so if you're looking at the teams that are through, it's looking like, all the teams you kind of expect to be there so far are going to be there.
Yeah.
Do you last year we did Bayern and then we did Real. Do you care who City draw in the next round, Izzy, or is there any preference for you?
I back City in Europe any day of the week. I think winning it, they've had the experiences before winning it, of getting to the semis, losing quarters, whatever. It's having that feeling of winning it and what it feels like. That will make them grow another foot taller in terms of whoever they play. It doesn't matter. In Champions League, the games are different. There's a different spice to them, and I back City any day of the week, especially with a fully fit squad.
Over 2 legs as well, I always say.
Absolutely,
yeah. I'm the same. I back City.
I
think Grealish needs to come back in. I think City are missing him a little bit. Yeah. So bring the squad back in, get them all together, and then that run in the Premier League, Champions League, and of course the FA Cup as well. There's still, loads going on. Yeah.
When you look at the teams, is there any that you've seen across Europe that you just really would like to avoid at the minute?
Avoid? I wouldn't want a PSG. I think they're a better team with less stars. I think the Mbappe they all recognise Mbappe as a star. Well, when it's Messi and Neymar there was like, well, he's not working, so I'm not working. It's not that anymore. They'll allow Mbappe to just be that guy. If I'm looking at the tie, I would say Dortmund, PSV, you're probably thinking, let's play one of them. But like as he said, I'll back us over 2 legs. It's only Arsenal I want to avoid.
Same, I'm the same.
I don't want to play Arsenal.
I want someone to knock Arsenal out, yeah.
Like, if it's the final, I'm backing us against Arsenal, against other teams. But Arsenal 2 legs.
Yeah.
Because we need to beat them in the league.
Yeah.
And I don't think we beat them 3 times in a month.
We wouldn't need to beat them 3 times.
We'll just be unbeaten. We definitely need to beat them in the league.
We need to be unbeaten.
And we need to beat them once in the Champions League.
Yeah.
And then we need to draw.
You can draw a game, yeah.
So that's a lot.
Real Madrid as well. Like, they're different.
Nah. Yeah, they are different.
They're different.
But I also want revenge on us.
Of course they will.
That performance, arguably the best performance of. They're not a coach team. They're still a team of superstars that are unreal.
Ancelotti just lets them fly, doesn't he?
I see a game of theirs earlier this season against Atletico, who obviously are coached. It was horrendous. It was just literally, just like go out and just do whatever you want to do, play wherever you want to play, and just hopefully someone will score. And it was like, nah, this is like the elite level. You can't. And I also remember the game against Real Madrid when they seen Kyle Walker run Vinicius Jr. and it deflated their whole team. It's like, oh, that's our superhero. It's just been. Someone took his mask off. Someone took his mask off now. He's nothing.
Because of Bellingham, I say that.
Yeah. Yeah, he does seem to have a different sort of factor. But I think, I agree with you. The best performance I've seen from ever maybe from City in that semi-final.
Yeah,
I remember just being flabbergasted the whole time. But I think we're all in agreement. We'll fancy ourselves, but we'd just rather avoid Arsenal.
Yeah.
Got a bit of an English hoodoo, haven't we, that I'm really not over yet. So that is the Champions League draw that takes place on Friday. Then on Saturday, fighting on three fronts again, you all know all about this, it is the FA Cup. So, City taking on Newcastle. I'm just double-checking the kick-off time because I've forgotten. 5:30, you're right, yes, 5:30 p.m. on Saturday for the quarterfinals of the FA Cup. So, City taking on Newcastle. It is at home, it is at the Etihad, which I think is a big difference. We've had tougher games when we've gone up to St James's Park. Newcastle currently sitting 10th in the league. Much more disappointing season from them in comparison to last season, which many might say was a real overachievement for them. What sort of game are you expecting on Saturday, Izzy?
Well, Newcastle beat them in the Carabao Cup earlier in the season, didn't they, City, up at St James's, and like you say, they're a tough team to play against. City did rest players for that game. I think it'll be more of the same. It's almost like a free hit for Newcastle. With where they are in the league, I think they'll come here on Saturday and they'll give it everything. They'll be tough, but again, a back City, with the ball control and everything. The game it won't be like today. It'll be a bit. Well, I think it will be a little bit more controlled from City's perspective, and they'll be able to dominate in that way. And I expect City to progress into the next round.
Oh, I hope so.
They should do.
Oh, I hope so. Yeah. How about yourself, Joleon?
Yeah.
Is it? We talked about the Anfield factor before. We've got the Etihad factor, haven't we?
Oh, yeah, it's different. It's just, that's a different element to it. I think it's more of a calm and everyone's, aware they're going to score 2 goals here. We need to get at least 2 to get anything out of the game. So it's a different factor, but equally as effective because, what is it now? 30-something games, maybe, nearly 40
in
games.
a row.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Unbeaten.
Yeah.
At the Etihad?
Yeah.
It goes back to, I think it's November 2022, I feel like.
Yeah, it's a lot of games.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So... And again, it doesn't get spoken about because it's City. It's not Anfield, so we're not biased to what our stats say. But in regards to teams coming there, we're aware. They're aware of what it is.
So we've got that Saturday, and then there's a week break. There's 2-week break, the international break for the men before we come back and play Arsenal. So, in terms of the draw today, how important do you think it is to get that win? Or, I mean, it's a pretty standard question. Before a 2-week break, how important is it at this point of the season to go into that with a big win on Saturday?
It's huge. Listen, going into international breaks after back of a defeat is horrible. You just want to get back to your club and just get on with it. You can actually relax a little bit when you've won. If you're going into it with a defeat, you're on. You're just focused on getting back, and obviously you have international games, but yeah, I think if they go through, especially in the Cup, it just builds the momentum again, and you just know that as much as no one's really talking about it, it is a real possibility of the treble again. So I think it's important for us that we're not the first to drop points between Liverpool and Arsenal or go out of a cup. If Arsenal go out against Porto, that's a real blow. I think that just takes a lot of momentum or wind out of their sails. Okay. People, they'll use it as now we can focus on the league, but I don't see it that way. I would see it as, they believe they can win the Champions League, and now you can't. So now you've only got, the league? You have to win the league. Are they still in the FA Cup?
I feel like they're not in the FA Cup.
Yeah, so exactly. So, now you have to win the league, and you can't drop points. There's no more excuses. So, and their pressure and their players aren't used to that type of pressure for me anyway. So
almost for us, staying in the three competitions benefits the 3 competitions.
Everything, yeah. Because I also believe that if, say, we go out of one, then it's picking a team, and then players will think, well, like I'm being dropped here, or he's prioritising these players. Where if you're playing in the quarterfinals, semi-finals, FA Cup, it's a massive game. So you might not play against Liverpool, Diaz, but if he plays against the quarterfinals, it's a massive game. So you're not thinking, oh, he's picked his best 11 there, and I'm in the second team or the B team, which can happen. Players do think like that, but Champions League, knockouts, quarterfinals, FA Cups, quarters, semis, they're all massive games. So stay in them as long as you can.
And whoever wins the quarterfinals, of course, the semi-finals, whether you agree with it or not, are played at Wembley. The possibility of the first of 3 trips to Wembley for City. I love... Do you know what, Izzy? I've been 14, 15 times. I love it. Every single time you go to Wembley, it is a special occasion, isn't it?
Yeah, it's mega, and I've got good memories of playing for City at Wembley in the FA Cup, scoring there. Like, there's no feeling like it, and that was, what, half capacity. So, you know, when it's full and... Oh, it's just, yeah, it's different. And it's got something about it where players, you know, you step up.
Wembley, man, yeah. You dream about, as a kid, you dream about playing at Wembley. Fans dream about going to Wembley. Yeah, so, yeah, would I prefer the semi-finals somewhere else? Maybe, but going to Wembley's nice.
I would, but I agree with you. Just love to go to Wembley.
As long as there's not a train strike.
I'm about to say,
yes,
yeah.
yes, it's so true. Yeah, so
stupid.
Yes. Thank you so much, both of you, for being here today. Izzy, it's been a real pleasure.
It's been a pleasure.
And I want to say congratulations as well on your nomination. Because we had Nedham on the other day and we were talking to him. You've both been nominated for Pundit of the Year at the Sports Journalists Association Awards.
Playing football with him tomorrow night, so...
Where?
I might...
how about him?
South Manchester. Do you want to come?
Yeah, I might come, yeah.
Yeah, please do.
Wow, I'd like to go watch that. OK, yeah, Izzy, thank you so much. We should actually go down and film that, shouldn't we? Joleon, thank you for being here, as always. Thank you very much to both of you. Thank you all for joining us on Matchday Live today. To Alistair Mann, to Michael Brown, FG, David James, to Liam, to Nikki Weaver. It's been a very, very busy afternoon, and it's finished. Liverpool 1, Manchester City 1. A 3-horse title race continues. There is 10 games left in the Premier League now, and oh, it's going to be a tasty, tasty 10 games. You know it is. We'll be back on Friday with the Champions League draw, 11 a.m. here with FG. We'll see you then.
If we win the treble, yeah, what are you going to do with that? Surely you've got to go Netflix.
There is one treble. Premier League, Champions League, FA Cup.
Together, guys. Do it together.
This documentary is going to be the best ever.
Now we're talking.
She doesn't know her dad's chap Grealish.
This is what the people has to realise, that today I'm the king.
You're right, Gunda. You need to wrestle.
Just another day at the office.
Absolutely brilliant from City.
We fought the last match, are we going to do it again?
I mean, are they unstoppable this season?
It's tough, the Premier League. It's unforgiving. You have to work and fight for every single point you get.
It's so easy to look far ahead. And that's the one thing that can get you killed.
Are City title contenders once again? The questions were starting to be raised.
Manchester City's lead has been obliterated.
We want to win this Premier League. We have to play like this.
You think it's normal? Well, today we are done. For the guys who travel to follow us to perform in this way? Wow.
They're in a proper title race here.
If we focus on ourselves, we can beat them all. And we want to do it again. And that's when we get big.
I think we can go all the way.
I want to my Warriors.
If you come for the king, you best not miss.
The biggest prize in club football is still the Champions League.
That was a little bit special.
He's got to turn Man City into a team that conquers Europe. That has to happen.
We're all going to Istanbul!
One more next week.
You know, tomorrow we play for the immortality.
Will it be a treble or a seismic shock?
This once in a lifetime, guys. This situation, we are not going to leave it again.